Entropy is taught like scripture, that time is a slow arithmetic of loss, that atoms vote in a million ways to scatter. And yet through that indifferent calculus, she arrives, not as an accident, but as a resolved probability. A slender, luminous singularity, where improbability accrues. Her mind is a map written in uncommon meters, attentions that arc and settle where others glance past, a cadence of thought that reads constellations in the margin, finding syntax and disorder and music in the uneven pulse. She makes sense of the small catastrophes. She turns them into architecture, thresholds, doorways, rooms of light. What some call chaos, she wears as habitation. What some name fracture, she repurposes into script. She recognizes the frightened boy folded inside a man, not as a weakness to be fixed, but as a ledger to be read. An old atlas of narrow routes that lead, eventually, to trust. She tends him the way one tends a delicate instrument, with patience, with exactitude, with a mercy that keeps time. In her orbit, the man learns a vocabulary of gentleness. His history becomes honor geography, not a wound to hide. Her beauty is an equation, rigorous and tender, thought and body fused in an uncompromising proof. She moves with a logic that is both intellectual and carnal, a presence that steadies rooms and melts defenses alike. She mothers like a comet holds its course, deliberate, fierce, luminous. In that pull, the small lives she tends find constancy and awe. He wakes to her as the first experiment of morning, a hypothesis that resolves into sunlight. He sleeps with her as the last theorem he chooses to believe. Absence becomes the measure that testifies to desire. What once lay ahead as an empty, indifferent plane now resolves into corridors of possibility too bright to look at directly. The future's glare, a consequence of her and the small habits she keeps. Let physicists call it random. Let mathematicians reduce it to odds. Between them, there's a quieter economy. The miracle of mutual choice. Miracle in the exact timbre of her laugh. The way she steadies a sentence. The patient architecture of her attention. The ferocity of her care. Miracle in how she shows him how love is practice. In everyday fidelity. And that to love is to do the small, stubborn labor of staying. If the cosmos insists on dissolving into dust, let it do so in some far ledger. For now, in this exquisite improbability, two scattered particles have converged. Against the long law of erosion and indifferent time, they have become one another's gravity, a home not built from certainty, but from shared uncertainty made durable.